Omar Kelly, he is on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. He covers the Dolphins for the Miami Herald, and you can follow Omar on Twitter as well for all your Dolphins news. Crowder is in Green Bay. We've got boots on the ground in Green Bay. Omar, I'm sure, will be at the Dolphins draft party tonight. Is it possible, Omar, that the Dolphins don't take a lineman or a corner with their first pick tonight?
It's absolutely possible. What I find interesting about this draft is that it's a bizarro draft. You remember the Seinfeld Bizarro episodes? This is the bizarro draft of what Chris Greer usually does, which is he addresses every need with some kind of minimum player in free agency, setting themselves up so that there aren't glaring needs on the roster on the board. Right now, they've got probably 2 NFL defensive linemen. They need 9. Right now, Liam Eichenberg is your starting left guard or right guard, which is a shameful embarrassment if you walk out of the draft and Liam Eichenberg is still your starting guard. Right now, they don't have any starting cornerbacks. They've got a nickel in Kader Kohu. I don't think anybody expects Cam Smith to be anything special. And then you've got basically a roster of undrafted players at cornerback. You can't win with that. They know, and to know that I understand why they're doing this, because they have to go young and cheaper. Crowder, when you got a rookie contract, he young, cheap labor, cheap, stupid. That's what they want. They want roster full of young, cheap, and stupid. And you have to build through the draft. But they just basically ignored that for the last 3 years and started spending money and buying players. And then now it's an about face and like, oh, damn, we suck. Let's build through the draft.
Ain't got no more money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, when you speak out the corner, man, like it was a curveball to me. And I know it was a curveball to the organization with Jalen Ramsey wanting to leave. I know he's not what he was 5 years ago, but he's still a top corner in this league. So, like, they said it's a mutual decision.
Mutual parting of ways.
What happened there, and did that really set them back? Because now you lose your starting safety and your starting corner.
I mean, he's clearly what's very interesting about what's going on with the Miami Dolphins is both their star players want to get out, are on the market. Obviously, they know there's no market for Tariq. You're not going to get any kind of adequate or fair value for him. And the truth be told, you're not going to get any adequate or fair valuable for Jalen Ramsey. And in fact, you can't trade him during the draft unless you do a hypothetical trade where you throw somebody Channing Tindall for a 3rd-round pick, and then later you trade Jalen Ramsey for a 7th, on June 1st, 7th in 2026, on June 1st, because if you trade him now, you're going to be taking an $8.8 million cap hit. Whereas if you trade him after June 1st, you'll be gaining $9 million in cap space. That $8.8 million is probably the equivalent of maybe 4 free agents that can actually help your team now. So would you trade Jalen Ramsey, get rid of your best talented defensive player, lose the ability to add 4 veteran players for $2 million, $3 million, the Emmanuel Ogbahs of the league? How does that make any sense to trade him now? And
unless you just want to get rid of headaches, even if it's just a headache for a couple of months. Like here's the thing that's going on with the Dolphins, because I'm a big believer in the roster. I'm a bigger believer in the roster than anyone on this show and probably anyone we've spoken to. I think that they're very close to being a very good playoff team. I think things went poorly, but the alarm bells start going off when you lose Javon and Teron Armstead and Calais Campbell and Mostert and Nick Needham, and Jalen Ramsey wants out, and there's all the stuff surrounding Tyreek Hill. The alarm bells start going off. So I just wonder where you think they are. Are they keeping a brave face on something that is becoming untenable?
They're keeping a brave face on acknowledging that we made mistakes in the past and we have to fix it. And we screwed up. We got to fix it. Because you gave Jalen Ramsey a new contract last year. So how all of a sudden do you say, wait a minute. This isn't working out for us. And let's not act like Jalen Ramsey is second best, number 1 player on your team. Whatever reason you want to figure out it's a mutual parting of the ways. But I understand it. Jalen don't want to be here. He doesn't believe in what's going on here. And there are a lot of players like that. But you have to Crowder knows you got to get younger, you got to get cheaper, you got to get guys who buy into you helping them get paid. Right now, Jalen Ramsey don't believe you're gonna help him get paid. He doesn't believe you're gonna help him get to the Hall of Fame. So he wants out.
Yeah. I mean, the two biggest ones that jump out at me are Calais Campbell and Jalen Ramsey, who could play here if they wanted to. Both of them have been in the league for a long time, and both of them want to be elsewhere.
I don't know the details on Calais. If I'm Calais, I'm trying to latch myself to an organization that I'm going to be part of for the next 5 to 10 years, whether it's front office, scout, coaching, whatever. Calais and Arizona is probably that situation. He wants to live. He wants his family to live somewhere and grow up there. They've always had a home in Arizona. They have a home in Miami. You know, Calais played 17 years. Calais has more experience than his coaches. His position coach, he's played in the league longer than his position coach has been actually coaching. Like, so Calais is different. And he probably just didn't. Their offer was like the third biggest offer on the table for him. And Calais is another subject. Tehran, the knee just wasn't going to hold up anymore. But is there an exodus of leadership? Absolutely. Is there exodus of players who believe in Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer and what the organization's doing? Absolutely. But you know how you change that? You get young players who buy in and you win.
And you brought up, and Hawk brought up the leadership thing. We've said it 3 times already. This whole leadership narrative, young, cheap, and dumb, is not leadership. That's the guys that need leaders.
Correct.
When Chris Greer was asked about it, he said Alec Ingold and Zach Sealer. Oh, like you're around the team.
Yeah.
Who in that locker room can stand up and say, hey, and everybody's going to get quiet and want to listen to what they have to say? I had Truck, Kevin Carter, JT, Zach, Chad Pennington.
Yeah.
When they spoke, people listened.
Yeah.
When Alec Ingold gets up, everybody stops what they're doing.
No. And Tua's name was left off, which was quite unique. That was a little unique. I hope it was an accident, because Tua does have command. Tua has command of his team and command of his unit. Does he have command of the defense? And Crowder, you've been here all these years. You know, sometimes the defense, they hate the offense, they hate the quarterback. It's just
different.
Yeah, it's just the way that football works. Tyreek has work to do to get back to a leadership presence. But Jordan Brooks has to step up as a leader. Zach Sealer has to step up as a leader. I can't really name anybody else, because that's what I got. And it's Devon Achane, that's what I got.
Yeah, and it's not just about production; it's about having that respect, and that's what leadership is. The guys respect to, and that's when people speak about it. I'm like, who has the respect of people?
See, but you know what? Crowder, what's interesting is I bought into what Mike McDaniel was doing last year in terms of player empowerment, putting people in positions of power so that they can lead the team. And then all those leaders basically kind of betrayed you or let you down, and or now having a mutiny. Like it's like, the devil you do, the devil you don't. I don't really know what to think about that situation, because, Jordan Poyer let you down. Jalen Ramsey let you down. Javon Holland let you down. And you really had to lean on just Calais and Tehran, and it just wasn't what you needed last year. So I think there is an about face being done on that player empowerment movement. And that's why you got to go with young and hungry and driven guys and say, hey, you want to make a name for yourself? Here's your opportunity. Go do it. Even the safety situation, 2 unproven fringe starters. You come here, you get opportunity to showcase yourself. And if it's your job, then this is also your defense. And does that work? I don't know.
Omar, help me understand, though. Bottom line. What is the directive of Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel this season? Is this all or nothing season? Is this do or die season? And it's not just make the playoffs, it's go contend for a Super Bowl, and if not, status quo is the same season? Or is it how it's kind of being painted, which is, hey, we're trying to set this team up for the future with our draft picks this year, and we're trying to make the right money decisions and being frugal in free agency to not set the team back for the future? Because if that is what it is, the latter, then why in the world keep this regime around? I can't wrap my head around it if it's basically keep the team from falling apart for another season so we can usher in a new directive. Like, why not just start now?
You don't start now because of Steve Ross's history of hiring. And I've written a column in the Miami Herald about this. If you think back at all his hiring experiences and opportunities, even Mike McDaniel, you get caught tampering with Sean Payton. They have been traumatic, painful, embarrassing situations. From the Harbaugh pursuit that led to Ireland and Speranos not talking to each other for a full year, to you hire Hickey, and then you realize he's not qualified. You bring in Mike Tannenbaum as a consultant. Mike shanks Hickey in the side and takes his job and takes the power, and then fires Hickey and puts Greer in place. You go to Brian Flores situation, how horrible that turned out. You talk about Joe Philbin. Goodness gracious, I never met a man well, Cam Cameron was probably worse. I gotta acknowledge that, Crowder. Yeah,
way worse.
Cam Cameron was probably worse. But there's been so many traumatic, horrible hiring experiences. And if you look at it from Steve Ross's standpoint, he would like to avoid that, but also last year fell apart for very clear and apparent reasons. Our quarterback got hurt. We put together a poo-poo offensive line, and we didn't have quality backups. If you had Tua available for half of the 6.5 games he missed, you're probably a 10-win team. You're probably in the playoffs. Not to say that's not the status quo, because you probably would have lost in the first round, but it wouldn't be this doom and gloom situation where they are now. But was the way they were doing business sustainable, healthy, leading to a fit and not flabby franchise? It wasn't. You can't keep them picks and signing, the thing that they would do is George Kittle right now, if he doesn't get a new deal, he might be shopped in this draft. And what the Dolphins would do is like, oh, George Kittle on the market? We give you pick number 48 for George Kittle, then we'd have to give him the biggest contract in the NFL. That's the way they've done business. And that is not healthy or sustainable long-term, because you don't have that young, cheap labor. And you need that young, cheap labor to create a balanced roster. You look at this roster, it's the heavy hitters, and then it's the rookies on the rookie salaries, and then it's 30-year-old injured players. And that's just no way. And then you wonder why you fall apart in December.
The draft is tonight. So obviously Cam Ward goes number 1. And then what do you have happening? And who do you have the Dolphins taking at 13?
I think the two linchpins of the draft is Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State. How high will he go? Where will he go? That will kind of dictate what's available to the Dolphins. And I just wrote a story in the Miami Herald. The Dolphins have let every team in the NFL know you have a willing trade partner if you'd like to move up to 13. If something you see is there and available, because we'd like to move down and pick up another second-round pick. So that's out there. So the Dolphins want to trade down. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be the other storyline in the draft. Where does he go? I think he's going to go to Pittsburgh at where they are, I believe, 22. Pittsburgh is a very bold, daring organization. And while everybody in the world knows they need quarterback, they're basically like, we're going to sit right here and we're going to wait for him. And he's going to fall to us. And that's just the way Mike Tomlin rolls. And if he don't fall to us, we'll be all right. We got Skylar Thompson on the roster. We'll turn Skylar Thompson into a respectable NFL player. Skylar, yeah. But that's the way the Steelers roll. So it'll be interesting to see if a team moves up ahead of the Steelers. If New Orleans doesn't take Shedeur, he's going to slide into the 20s. Maybe the Dolphins find a trade partner, somebody interested or willing to move up to get him. And in terms of the Dolphins, I wrote a column in today's Miami Herald. We done played chicken and Russian roulette with this offensive line long, so many times, going back to when Crowder was playing. And my biggest issue about this draft is there are 10 offensive linemen that everybody universally views are going to be ready day one starters. You need a day one starter. If you do not get that player at 13 or trading down and get him in the first round, by the time you get back on the board at 48, it's going to be nothing there for you. And so you're going to be stuck with either Liam Eichenberg as a starter, or what happened to you when you had to trade a future third-round pick to move up 8 spots and lose basically the equivalent of 2 third-round picks to select you Liam Eichenberg. So to select what's the best of what's left over. So my advice to the Dolphins is, let's not play Russian roulette with this offensive line anymore. Let's go take one at 13 or at 20 and then figure out the rest of our draft, because we can't keep playing like this. We can't keep doing this.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I want to stay at 13. Trading back so dumb. There, you can't find a 13th guy and out of 300 people to help your team. It's crazy. 10 picks he has. What? 1, 2, 1, 3, 1.
Here's why everybody's intrigued about trading down, because from this draft, player number 20 and player number 70, they're virtually the same player. So you want more of that crop of talent, as opposed to, like, there are probably 10 elite players in this draft. And unless one of them, like Mason Graham, falls to you, you would much rather go to 20, pick up an extra one of them second round picks or second day picks, so that you can get 4 good players that can help you, because they got holes everywhere. They got holes everywhere on this roster.
And what's that number? If it's 10 or 11 picks, what's the number to Chris Greer, his percentage he has to hit on in this draft to be decent?
Chris Greer has to walk away from this draft with 4 rookie starters, which to me just sounds just ridiculous. Just a good draft is 3. A good draft is 3 rookie starters, 3 eventual starters, like a Channing, 3 Channing Crowders.
We had Ronnie, me, Matt Ross, and Travis Daniels.
Yeah, but Travis, come on, Travis. Come on now, Crowder.
Travis can play.
I mean, come on now. And so it was like 3.5. Yeah, you know, when you play a spade, I had 3 of the possible. And Rock was really a possible too. So, but yeah, if you walk away with a Channing Crowder-esque draft, you'll be good. You really will be good. But you should have went Aaron Rodgers that year. Just history.
I wouldn't argue that either. I love Ronnie B now. I love Ronnie B to death.
I know that's your boy, but Hall of Famer Ronnie Brown. Hall of Famer
Omar Kelly tweeted out, it was about a week or 2 weeks ago, was maybe 10 or 11 at night, and he tweeted out that he wanted to go get a Slurpee, late night Slurpee run, and how do people feel about this? And that's my wheelhouse, because I haven't had a Slurpee in a long time. Since my son's gone to college, all the fun late night runs, it feels more
your
hollow.
Wife won't let you be irresponsible on the behalf of your children.
So did you end up going for a late night Slurpee?
I did end up going for a late night Slurpee. I just,
it's a pleasure, isn't it?
I hate late night food craving. I'm one of those people where I can't, if I'm craving something, I can't not have it, because then I can't sleep.
Just obsess over it.
Yeah, I just obsess over it. So I tweeted that, and I was just like, man, I really shouldn't. But for 45 minutes straight, I kept thinking about a Slurpee, and I'm just like, you know what? Screw it.
What flavor did you get?
Oh, I'm a pina colada guy. I'm a pina colada Slurpee guy.
What? Do they have those?
I can do the blue raspberry. I can.
You end up at Fat Tuesday? You're talking about adult Slurpees?
Yeah. No. I'm a 7-Eleven pina colada Slurpee guy.
It's the white one.
Yeah, they be changing flavors all the time. But pina colada, that's been a staple for 20 years, sir.
It has? Where? At 7-Eleven? What am I?
How does your 7-Eleven not have a pina colada? See, that's your Wawa. That's your Wawa way.
Never heard of someone's go-to slurp. I thought I was asking cherry or Coke. I literally thought those were the only two staples.
We talking 7-Eleven. We talking the elevated Slurpee.
Pina colada?
Oh yeah, I have 7 options. I'm taking pina colada. Like, ain't nothing wrong with pina colada. That's my flavor, man. It got a little kick to it. I like it. You can put some tequila in it, and you can make it a real pina colada.
I've never heard of such a thing. That's the Eric Kumaro pick right there. That was something that nobody saw coming.
I stand on this. there will be more people saying pina colada Slurpees are the way to go. You can do cherry, you can do blue raspberry. I don't like people who do Coke Slurpees. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna stop at a 7-Eleven tonight and see if they have pina colada. I just didn't know that was available year round, and I didn't know it was available. Period. I didn't know.
It's
like Hawaii. You would take that over Hawaiian Punch?
I've never seen Hawaiian Punch. I like the steak.
BK has a frozen Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah. And they got blue raspberry. Yeah, but it's not BK is not. It's an icy. It's not a Slurpee.
Right.
Even the concept is the same, but it don't taste the same. I
agree. Slurpee is unique unto itself.
Slurpee, there's ices and no, McDonald's doesn't have Slurpees. Ices. It's
Jimmy is saying that McDonald's has the frozen Hawaiian Punch.
Oh, maybe. Oh, you know what? That is what she was offering me yesterday. Damn, I should have jumped on that. I went to McDonald's and I was like, y'all don't have ices, do you? And she said, no, we have a Hawaiian Punch. And I was just like, that's not what I asked you for. Yeah. But you might have been saying,
really good.
I have a Hawaiian Punch flavor icy. Damn, I missed that.
Now, when you went for the late night Slurpee, this is how I judge people. You went for the late night Slurpee. Did you get any scratch offs?
No. I have a scratch
what are you
off.
Doing? You're at 7-Eleven late at night and you're not getting scratch offs? I mean, what are we even doing here?
I have scratch offs in my house that I have not scratched. So when I'm feeling lucky, I scratch a scratch off. So
I do that. I love that. That's how I show myself that I have willpower. I buy no.
Yes, they do. They expire.
I buy scratch offs and then I'll let them sit there for a few days. I'll just look at them. I'm in control of you, scratch off. You're not in control of me. Crowder scratches them in the car.
I just I scratch the barcode and just see if I won. I don't even look at the
worst.
numbers.
That is the worst way to play lottery tickets.
You taking all the fun out of it, Crowder.
All the fun.
The fun is when that machine says ding ding ding. That's the fun.
Man, pina colada Slurpee. How about that? I thought there would be no draft day surprises. We got one.
I'm gonna play pina colada. If you do a draft day Slurpee flavor, I'm pina colada is my Cam Ward. I'm standing on it. I'm standing on it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll be the judge of this. We'll have you on next week. We'll talk about it. Omar Kelly, read his work in the Miami Herald. Thanks, Omar.
I guess.